Hello, and I want to thank you all for coming to Self-Empowerment Through Color. Today, our mission will be to be a bridge between you and the wonderful world of color. So my intention is to help change your life one color at a time. Because this class is on self-empowerment, we're going to discuss the growth years, the developmental years of each color. We'll discuss 7 colors and how we can work on our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual body through the vibration of color. I've been teaching color and its therapeutic or vibrational aspect for the last 25 years. I'm a certified chromatologist and I'm a certified natural health professional. I manufacture a lot of different products to assist people in working with color therapy and identifying what their emotional block is in order to prevent disease from forming on their physical body. So I expect us to have a lovely day and to learn a lot about color. One thought I'll leave you with before we start our PowerPoint: if you think about color, it's like a vitamin. If you needed more vitamin C, you would take more vitamin C. If you had a shortage of green, you would need to take more green. So if we can kind of think of that as we go forward with our PowerPoint. We will do some lessons in between. If you will go to your supplemental CD, it has your printable forms. You'll be able to print out your handouts and keep along during the class. Also, if you'd please hold any of your questions until after the PowerPoint, we'll then have a question and answer session. So thanks for coming. Now let's get started. All right, now let's start off with what is color? Well, we know that color is light and it's split into different wavelengths. It vibrates at different speeds and different frequencies. Red is the slowest or longest wave, and purple is the fastest or shortest wave. So psychologists are finding that there's a tremendous influence on our health, our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health through the vibration of color. We know that people that live without light and without color suffer from sad disease. So we also know that if you took, for an example, if you took a blind person and you had 7 different pieces of fabric out of either cotton or silk, and you placed that fabric in their hands, they would be able to tell you when they were holding a different color. Another thing you can do is simply take 7 different sheets of paper that's different colors. Have your client or your friend just close their eyes and do a little muscle testing. They'll be able to feel what that color vibration is. Muscle testing is a form of kinesiology, which is another subject that we teach, but for those of you that don't know what it is, that's exactly what we do with it. Scientists have studied that if you use a lot of red, it'll raise your blood pressure. So it'll also start a pulse to increase the rate of the pulse. So if you're feeling a little hyper today, you would want to avoid red. We've also proven that when the heart rate is too fast or we're feeling too hyper, if we will invite blue into our auric field or just the vibration of blue, we can breathe it in, we can take it in through the eyes, that it will then help to calm us down. So that's a little bit of research that's been done throughout years on color. Now, we also have primary colors and we have what's called our color complement. The color complement is the opposite color on the wheel. If you'll look here at the PowerPoint, you'll see like opposite orange is blue, red is green, is the opposite color, purple is yellow. So let's talk about if you're having too much red, if you're starting to feel agitated, again, if your heart rate is up, you would want to go to the color complement or to a cooler color to help soothe that. If you have somebody that's suffering from depression, you would want to avoid having them in the vibration of blue. You would then look to the vibration of orange, because orange would help to bring that bliss back. Orange also represents the color of trauma. So if you have somebody that's gone through a recent trauma, you would want to avoid orange with them. Get the idea? Color complement. Now let's talk about our 7 energy centers. Today we're going to focus on our 7 major centers, or red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. There are also the lesser centers, which would then take you to pinks and corals and limes and turquoises. That's another class, but just know that those colors are there and available for you. Okay, so for those of you out there that have experienced vibrational medicine or different forms of vibrational healing, You might have come across a group of wonderful ladies at the hospitals that are healing touch practitioners. They are working with these energy centers, and they are using vibrational medicine or energy work to help bring that person into balance faster. And they're finding that they're released from the hospital sooner because of this. So aromatherapy with color and light is a phenomenal thing to use. And I'll do a demonstration here in a minute so you can see a little bit more about it. Let me just do this now. As an example, all of our glands and organs are in the bottom of our feet. Each foot is different with different glands and organs. You can use a probe to probe around and find where there's an issue. Let's say this person's having a little bit of a sinus issue. We poke down here and it hurts. We could apply an essential oil, preferably a medical grade oil. We could apply it to this point that would help with the sinuses. Then we could take a little color and light. Yellow works on elimination, and apply it to this point. And what do we have now? We're now working on the body through eliminating, through color, light, and through aromatherapy. We can use this same principle with the ear. You can take your ear, which looks like the fetal position. You can poke any point of this ear, and you will find where there is where it's tender, there's a physical problem. Look at the organ and work with that. Again, you can apply an essential oil to this part, a couple drops, and you can apply your light therapy. So you're using the aromatherapy, you're pushing it in with the light. The light is your carrier. Isn't that lovely? You can do the same thing here with a sinus treatment. You can go right down the front of the sinuses and you will drain. You'll feel those sinuses drain if you utilize the color. Now I'd like to talk to you about one of the oldest forms of vibrational medicine, which is called solarized water. In whatever town you live in, I know you've got a stage and lighting store here somewhere. Everybody has a stage and lighting store. And they have these little things like this that we call gels. They go over the filter for them to do filming in the television and studios and the movie studios. So let's say, and I'm sure all of you know how to make sun tea. Everybody makes sun tea. So let's say that you have been very sluggish lately and you would like to make some solarized water. You want to take a glass, not plastic, no metal. So you want to take a glass, preferably a glass pitcher or just a glass of water. Take your water, put this gel over it, put a rubber band around it, remember no metal, and set it outside in the sun. Let it sit for the day, and now when you come in, you have a vibrational, it's called vibrational medicine. So you have the energy of red that has been infused from the sun going into the water. You can put a little cap on it if you'd like, set it in the refrigerator, but don't drink it too fast. You want to sip it. Remember, it's a medicine, so sip it lightly. Don't just guzzle it down, or you'll really be feeling hyper up. If you'd like to eliminate, I would suggest yellow is great for the elimination system. If you're working on that, on eliminating toxins from the body, add a good yellow essential oil. Add lemon, pure lemon, just a drop or two to your glass of water. Just a drop or two, because it takes 122 petals to make one drop of oil. So you have to remember that it's very, very powerful to use a pure. Now, what I'd like to focus on right now is I'd like to talk about our growth years. So red is our foundation. It is our years between birth and age 7. It's our first energy center. It's where our foundation, our root, our stability, all of our security, our identification, and our will to survive is here. It warms and awakens us. So if you think about your childhood and the first 7 years of your life, did mom and dad get along real well? Was there any worries about whether the rent was going to get paid? Was it a solid time that you were able to develop that part of your life so that you aren't afraid to reach for the brass ring, so that there aren't fears involved? That's the most important part, is developing that time. Now, a lot of folks that have issues with their lower back, that goes back to the red years. The lower back and the different parts of the body talk about our survival issues. So if we're having problems in the lower back, we may be concerned about how we are going to survive. It may relate to money. So back to, if things weren't stable, maybe mom and dad were there but they weren't emotionally available, then you need to go back in and work and release that from those first 7 years of your life. So we're also now going to talk about, not only does each year have a growth year and a developmental time, we also have personalities. And just so that we're clear, if you're a red personality, that doesn't mean you're just a red. You might be a red personality with a blue overlay. You might be red with a little blue and green overlay. You can have different overlays, but the basic core might be that you are a red personality. I love reds. Reds will pursue life with the most courage and passion. They are always on fire, and they understand what action is, because they are here to